All right, well, if you can go back in time to the day you started franchising, is there anything you would have done differently?
There's probably so many little things that, we're in the truck and we're like, why did we do that?
Of course, we
But
all have been through that, right? With
yeah,
just the operation standpoint, like I didn't think this all the way through.
yeah. Well, you know what? You know what was good for us is that we did a lot of research before we kind of dove into the franchising world. We checked to see, hey, what are the first steps? What are some things that other brands have done that obviously they're not doing that anymore. So obviously something didn't work along the way. And just getting in touch with people that you can tell they're very trustworthy people. They've been in the industry for a long time. They know what they're talking about. They have a lot of successful businesses. And there's a lot of people in the franchising world that genuinely want to help you out. There's a lot of really good people out there. So we're just kind of following that path and just seeing where that leads us.
I love it. What's your plan for your first full year in launching your franchise? How many do you hope to open?
So now that we're with the carpool program, I mean, we're
Our goal is to have around 5 this year. That's our goal.
5 to 10. Obviously, we're going to be super hands-on. We want them to be extremely successful.
Yeah.
And we're signing on with some broker networks as well. So that's going to be
Okay.
kind of a new experience for us too. So we want to get our name out to as many brokers and consultants as we can. And yeah, hopefully 5 to 10. And then
And then
just,
hopefully next year we can hit out of the ballpark.
yeah, for sure.
Well, hopefully you're going to be super picky. You're going to be really careful about who you bring on because
Mhm.
your first dozen franchises really set the tone of the culture of the organization.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's what we've heard that a lot from a lot of people.
Yeah, they really do. And remember that your first dozen franchisees are also going to be the biggest risk takers.
Mhm,
Yep, exactly. Which is why we really want to be so hands-on and making sure that they are successful.
mhm.
Yes, we might not have every single thing perfectly, set in stone,
Buttoned up, yeah,
Right.
buttoned
but
up, but we're going to be holding their hand along the way to make sure that they feel comfortable and that they are successful.
mhm.
Yeah, I often talk to people about like what it was like the early years. If I could have done anything differently starting out, my suggestion would be to be a better listener as the founders. Because if you think about it, as you guys are just launching your franchise, your job is to teach, right? The new franchisee. So you're going to be doing, it's going to be kind of one way. You're doing all the education, you're doing all the teaching, but something's going to flip in your business when you have before you know it, your franchisees are going to have really valuable experience
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that we need to now listen to them because they're on the front lines every day.
Exactly.
And they're going to start sharing, hey, this works, this doesn't work, or can we introduce maybe this onto the food truck? It's going to be easy to maintain.
Mhm.
And it's our job. I know I look back on my businesses, oh, wow, I wanted people to win so badly, but I didn't consciously make the effort to do a better job of them being receptive to their ideas
Mm.
until I did, and
Yeah.
you could avoid a lot of pain by making a super collaborative because ultimately you guys are the leaders, you guys are the co-founders, the brand has to be done your way. But I would highly encourage you to make sure that you keep it collaborative from the very beginning so that because you're building something together that every market may look slightly different.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and we definitely, with that first a couple franchisees, we want them to be our partners. Like you
Yeah.
were saying,
Yeah.
just tell me what you think would be better. If we implement something and you think it's not working correctly, or you're not getting the maximum potential out of it, just let us know.
Yeah.
We'll switch things up. We're growing. We're gonna grow with you guys too.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
all one team.
Yeah, for sure.
We are right. You're all one team and your first, especially your first 10 franchisees, they're not going to be shy because they are the risk takers. They're
Yeah.
going to be happy to give feedback,
Mhm.
which will look totally different because when you guys are like 50 to 100 franchises in, the only reason why those people even join Stadium on Wheels is because you have everything figured out and all the systems and processes. That's what drew them to your business is because 50 people before them came aboard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why they'll look slightly different. So
Yeah.
I don't know, just unsolicited advice
No,
is
No,
to,
it's
we're
great.
all ears
collaborate.
for sure,
Yeah.
especially from you. I mean, obviously you're extremely successful and it's been, you're in the same category as us, with the sports and I-9 and everything. So yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you. I made a lot of mistakes is what I did.
That's how you learn and grow.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to avoid them,
That's
but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. We're being realistic.
I try to save a lot of people because from my own bad experiences and stuff. But all right, well, enough of that. Let's talk about the trends. I realize you've only been around about 6 years, but have you noticed any trends that have changed from the time you started to now of what your customers' likes are? I mean, everything is Americana, Olivia, like you said. I mean, who doesn't like hot dogs and pretzels and nachos?
Yeah.
But are you noticing anything changing specifically in the food truck business that has evolved from the time you started?
Well, obviously, there is obviously a health focus now, and lots of people are gluten-free, vegetarian.
Sure.
They don't, dairy-free, things like that. So we have to make sure that we call things out on a menu that we always make sure there's a vegetarian option, which is the soft pretzel, and a gluten-free option as well, which is our nachos. So we always make sure that there's at least an option for people that have those that are very particular about that.
Yeah. And just kind of having one of everything. Like we have an entree, we have our like foot-long stadium dog, we have our dessert, we have like icy floats, we have fresh lemonade if you just want to drink. Some food trucks will just go like, hey, we just sell tacos and that's all we sell. We want to be more, we cater everybody.
Yeah, we have a dessert too.
Yeah,
lots of other entree trucks don't even offer a dessert.
If you want a snack, you get the kettle jacks, you get the nachos. So it's just very, we wanted, when we first started off, we just were like, okay, let's just sell hot dogs, 6-inch hot dogs. And we noticed that the profit margins weren't, the greatest. Our average ticket sales weren't the greatest. So we decided to go to footlongs, and it's definitely more of a wow-worthy thing. If you see someone walking around with a loaded footlong, they're like, "Hey, where'd you get that from?" So definitely, as we've been in the food truck industry, we've noticed things that make food truckers successful.
Yeah,
we've implemented those.
People want to go to a food truck because they can only get it there.
Right.
You don't really see that many hot dog trucks out there. They're usually carts. We're a truck, and we only sell footlongs. I don't know of any other truck that we were in Arizona or in Indianapolis where a truck or car has only sold footlongs or even offer that.
Yeah.
So they know that if they want a footlong, it's only at our food truck.
At Stadium on Wheels, yeah.
And I guess visually people are drawn to the food truck anyway, because you're delivering more than just the food. It's the experience, because people see baseball.
Yeah.
If nothing else, they want to see what is going on over there.
Exactly.
And we got music going.
Menu board is like a scoreboard, kind of.
Yeah, we have a light up marquee where that lights up, and even when it's dark out, it's glowing, and people are like, "What is that?" So we get a lot of people come up and just say, "Hey, like this is a cool thing."
Who was behind sourcing this and designing the truck and creating the whole experience? You, Steven?
He's always been the visionary.
I definitely had a vision for how I wanted to look from the very beginning, and
he has a very particular vision.
And you can see that even with that 6x8 trailer. I wanted to be green like a baseball field, and have a marquee sign, and have a scoreboard, menu board, things like that. Just those little things that make us a little bit cooler and different.
Yeah, because you see a lot of trucks out there, they might not have the budget to make a really nice wrap. It's just a plain white truck and just their name on it, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which is, that's fine, but we want to stand out. We want to be in a league of our own.
Yeah. Is this a legacy business for you guys? You want to do this forever and see how big we can make this? Or do you plan on building up a little bit and selling it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to pass it down to our kids, and
if they want to.
If they want it.
But this is definitely a long-term thing for us.
Yeah, and it's something that we enjoyed doing. We love baseball. Obviously, I love it a little bit more than she does.
It's a fun concept. It's a fun industry,
and it's fun making money too. I mean, it's like when you go out to an event and you're making a couple grand an event, and you bring it home and you're excited, it's fun. You have dinner and you're like, oh my God, can you believe how much we made today? Did you hear that person? They were really excited about, trying out our lemonade, and, it's just a lot of fun. Just, doing it.
Well, that's what it's all about. You want to have fun what you're doing, because there's plenty of other businesses you could be doing, right?
Yeah.
So you might as well enjoy what the heck you're doing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.